Gannon. Welcome to another edition of The Ride Home with John and Kathy, live from the Salem, Pittsburgh studios. And now here are your hosts, John Hall and Kathy Emmons.
Feels like Friday. It feels like Friday, doesn't it? What are you laughing about?
Oh, boy. I mean, everything's a mess here.
Well, you're usually very well organized.
I know. So I printed out all of the material for today's radio program. And I went in to pick it up, and everything, it was like the printer vomited, and everything is turned around. I can't.
That printer in the office there?
No, Gary's printer.
Oh, jeez.
So now I don't.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm not really sure what we're talking about on today's show.
No, you were fine. We'll just make it up as we go along.
Do you think?
Why should today be any different, despite your organizational prowess?
I really try to be organized.
You know, you were gone the last couple of days, and
how'd that go?
Well, fine, and we didn't even have a clock. We didn't even have a clock.
Neither one of you cared.
Nope. Gary made it work, and I said, first day, I was like, I don't have a clock for you. He's like, it's okay.
Yeah, but by day 2, you didn't do the top 4 at 4.
Right.
And, of course, you didn't have to do what? Does this make sense?
Does this make sense, right?
Yeah.
The top 4 at 4, that's a particular calf thing.
I know.
It is. It's like
which is his way of saying, Gary, that whenever I'm not here,
forget
it's not going to happen.
I mean, you know, I'm not a newsman, Gary. You know that. I mean, Kath maybe had that aspirations to be Jane Pauley or something. I don't know.
No, I want Patty Burns.
Patty Burns. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
And does it make you daddy?
No. I hope not.
That's really funny.
That's really sad if that's the case.
That is wrong.
Yeah. What the heck?
Oh, my God.
Are you good? You good?
Anyway, I'm good. I think I have all the papers in the right order now.
Excellent.
Though, when I am reading the top 4, if something goes wrong.
Top 4 at 4:15, maybe? What do you think?
Somewhere in that ballpark.
I'm good, you guys. Look, I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, heck. I mean, I'm not going to slow you down then.
Wait. Is it time for me to tell you?
Tell me what.
Your weekend has begun.
Heck yeah, it is. Very nice. What do you say? Thank you, sir.
Woo!
6 minutes past the 4 o'clock hour on a Friday afternoon. I think, at least in this corner of the world, all is right and well, right? There's nobody back in the sales office.
Well, of course, they left. It's Friday. They left at 1 o'clock.
They're gone. What the heck? There's cobwebs back there.
You guys, we picked the wrong side.
Kind of.
Of the station
we
to
did,
work on.
Right, yeah. Because you always hear, but people say, "Oh, yeah, I always used to be on air, but then I saw, the
right."
sales
Then I saw the light.
Oh, and then you kind of go, "Oh, I get like a big L on my forehead."
Shouldn't be a surprise for
the
anyone.
heck, no. All right, Kath, please.
All right.
I don't want to hold you back.
No, I'm ready to go, John.
Delve into the news stories today.
Woo.
Without further ado, please give us the top 4 at 4.
It is a Friday. Your weekend has begun.
Thank you.
It's the 7th of October, 2022. Number 1. The Nobel Peace Prize was jointly awarded to Belarusian political activist Alice Bialysky,
Love her.
maybe, and organizations from Russia and Ukraine for promoting the right to criticize power and protect human rights. And by the way, it's a man.
Oh.
Okay, that's right. Mr. Bialysky, who is currently in detention, was among the main players who helped foster a pro-democracy movement in Belarus in the late 80s, later founding a group known as Vyazna, which is also called in English Spring, to protest new dictatorial powers for the country's president. He was imprisoned from 2011 to 2014, arrested again in 2020 after widespread protests against the government of Lukashenko. He is currently being held without trial.
Still in prison.
Still in prison. The prize also awarded to the Russian human rights organization Memorial, established in 1987 by activists in the former Soviet Union who wanted to chronicle the victims of communism. And they are still at it. Memorial is the joint winner. The committee has tackled the increasingly autocratic leadership in Russia for the second time, and I mean the Nobel Committee. Dmitry Muratov, you might remember this editor-in-chief of the Russian Novaya Gazeta newspaper that he helped to found in 1933, won the prize last year for his efforts to safeguard freedom of expression. So, and do you remember that he was the guy that donated his winnings, which I think was $500,000 to charity? Yeah. He's a very interesting person to me. Let me say his name again. Dmitry Muratov. He was the one who won last year. Anyway, so congratulations to Mr. Bialysky and the organization Memorial in Russia. Number 2, the city of Philadelphia. Wait till you hear this story, John. issued an apology for the unethical medical experiments performed on mostly black inmates at its Holmesburg prison from the 1950s through the 1970s. The city allowed University of Pennsylvania researcher Dr. Albert Klingman to conduct dermatological, biochemical, and pharmaceutical experiments that intentionally exposed 300 black inmates to viruses, fungus, asbestos, and chemical agents, including dioxin, a component of Agent Orange. How about that? Many of the men were awaiting trial and trying to save money for bail, and many of them were illiterate.
And I wonder how many are alive.
Yeah, it's a good question. Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney said, quote, "Without excuse, we formally and officially extend a sincere apology to those who were subjected to this inhumane, horrific abuse. We are also sorry it took far too long to hear these words." Wow. That's from CBS News. Number 3, a pink diamond was sold for $49.9 million in Hong Kong today, setting a world record for the highest price per carat of any diamond ever sold. It's 11.5 carats, the Williamson Pink Star Diamond, auctioned by Sotheby's Hong Kong. It's sold for 392 million Hong Kong dollars, which of course I already said is 49.9 of ours. But guess what its original estimate was?
How much?
They thought it would sell for $21 million, and it went for $49.9.
Just got that kind of money.
Well, I don't know.
Want a ring with some diamonds?
Yeah, I would like that. It's from the AP. And to close it out, I've got a weird animal story for you, John.
Always happy.
The Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission this week launches restoration efforts for the blue catfish.
I saw this.
They're stocking it in the Allegheny, the Mon, and the Ohio. Native to the major rivers of the Ohio basin, the blue catfish kind of lost its way simply because of pollution and habitat change, but they feel like it's time to bring him back.
They're beautiful.
The blue catfish can weigh more than 100 pounds. Stocking in the Ohio River will begin this week with 3 to 5 inch fingerlings. That's your top 4 at 4.
Excellent. So if you're an angler, something fun's coming your way.
100-pound
Wow.
fish, 100-pound catfish, would that be incredibly ugly?
And no, it'd be cool. And they are beautiful. Have you seen the blue?
Well,
The catfish.
I think beautiful is a little bit of a stretch.
No, I think if you
it's
saw
a fascinating creature. I'm glad they exist. I don't know if I'd stack beautiful onto there.
Maybe. If you were a fisherman, you might think otherwise.
100 pounds.
Just don't stick some illegal weights in the mouth or something like that. Right?
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to be like Erie.
No. Heck. All right, very good. Very nice. Taking a break?
Thank you, John. You sound surprised.
Well, no, it's fine. I mean, that's a top 4 to 4.
Just because the pages were in the wrong order, you thought, well, she's not going to come up with anything.
No. I know that's your domain, and I'm happy that it is. Now I'm up to date. What the heck?
Great.
Very, very good. All right, Richard Mouw's going to be with us next. How to be a patriotic Christian. There's been an awful lot of talk about Christian nationalism. Richard Mouw will talk about that next. It's The Ride Home. We are Pittsburgh's Christian Talk on 101.5 Word FM.
101.5 WORD.
I won! Yes!
And we want you to win too. So sign up to receive our contests and sweepstakes update. Each Friday, you can see new opportunities to win. We regularly give out prizes from books, music, and merchandise to household items, even vacation trips or car payments. Stay up on all the fun. Subscribe to our contests and sweepstakes update, mailed each Friday.
Sign up today at wordfm.com/subscribe.
At the Original Mattress Factory, we use only the highest quality materials in our mattresses, and that starts with our inner springs. We build our mattresses with interlaced inner springs because we believe you deserve the best. But mainstream mattress brands use a lower quality encased coil system. So we put both springs to the test to find out which provides better support, conformance, and motion separation. You can see the results for yourself in our new video. Visit originalmattress.com or our YouTube channel to see how each inner spring performed.
You wouldn't wear pants that are too tight or a shirt that doesn't fit just right. Just like clothes, there's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all mattress. At the Original Mattress Factory, we know that everyone has unique comfort preferences. Our knowledgeable, friendly sales team is here to help guide you and answer any questions you may have. Our no-pressure shopping experience allows our customers to take their time to find the mattress that meets their unique needs. Visit an OMF location today to see the Original Mattress Factory difference for yourself.
Christian television is one of the best ways to tell the world the truth, where you don't have to live in chaos, and you can access peace and hope, and that there is a God who loves you.
Bridge of Hope is coming soon on Cornerstone Television Network.
Get involved and hear from special guests Auntie Ann Beeler, founder of Auntie Ann's Pretzels, David and Nicole Binion, Jay Gilbert, Mike Smalley, and Jennifer Evaz. Join us October 3rd through 7th at 8 p.m. on Cornerstone Television Network.
Train up a child in the way they should go. Well, you know the rest. It's a calling you take very seriously as a Christian parent. And Trinity Christian School in Forest Hills seeks to honor your commitment by working together with parents to prepare students who are academically sound and spiritually ready to take their place in the world through a classical approach to education that helps build a faith from which they will never depart. Trinity Christian School, one of the top K-12 schools in Allegheny County, at trinitychristian.net.
Doug. Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it.
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Of course, if you've been reading, following along these last several years, there's been a lot of conversation about Christian nationalism, right? The rise of Christian nationalism. Well, our next guest, Richard Mouw, has been with us many, many years. He's got a brand new work out, and how to be a patriotic Christian. And Richard, welcome back.
Hey, good to be with you.
Always a pleasure, Richard. Christian nationalism is not the same thing as being a patriotic Christian, is it?
No. No, it's not. And it's the ism part. Really, that's the problem. We do live in a nation. It's a nation that certainly has some Christian influences on it, and those are worth talking about as well. But when you have you see your nation as Christian, and you have to be devoted to it because it's doing the will of God, that gets pretty dangerous. Yeah.
Okay, so help us to figure. I mean, we've all, hopefully, pretty much everybody in our listening audience has thought about this, Richard, because there have been so many challenges to how we look at politics in the country over the last couple years. I'd say 6 or 7 years, but also in how we think about church post-COVID. So people are thinking, okay, so I go to my church maybe twice a month now if I go, and so maybe my allegiance isn't as much to the church. Maybe my allegiance is now more to my political party. What does that do to a person, or what does that do to a country if that's what happens?
Yeah, well, it's certainly pretty bad for the church, and I think it's bad for the country as well. The real thing is, Kathy, our absolute loyalty has to be to the kingdom of Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. And there are times when we even have to go against our church. I mean, Martin Luther did that, and there are a lot of cases of that. Our loyalty is to Jesus, who is really the king of our lives and really the king over the whole creation. And that means we don't give that kind of loyalty to a nation or to a church.
Richard, is there a way that Scripture guides us to look at, the idea of staying away from Christian nationalism, to be patriotic to your country, but to be a Christian first?
Yeah, in my book, I look at a number of biblical texts. The obvious one that most people will quote is "Render unto Caesar, that which is Caesar, and to God that which is God's." As if somehow there's a whole area of life that belongs to Caesar, and God doesn't have anything to do with it, which is wrong. Romans 13, that the powers that be are ordained of God. I especially like 1 Peter 2, where he talks about that we need to honor the emperor. We need to honor the country of which we're citizens as Christians. But at the same time, we are to fear the Lord. And the Greek word there is phobia. It's a very strong, phobia. I mean, it's a very strong thing. We honor the United States government, and we fear the Lord. And we love the church, but we honor all human beings as well. And so when we have a government that we're called to honor, but we're called to honor also all human beings. We got to say, well, how is it serving all human beings? You know. And those are very important questions, but there's nothing in the Bible that says that we have to give our absolute devotion to any human government at all.
Yeah. Now, oftentimes, and I think this is pretty common, maybe not so much now, maybe even more so, I guess, depending upon where you go. When you go into sanctuaries, many churches display the American flag. I personally, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it sort of just identifies you, but many people do. What are your thoughts on the flag in the sanctuary?
Yeah, well, I mean, there are many people who, if the preacher were to say, you know, we ought not to have the flag in our sanctuary, it would be the preacher who goes and not the flag. You know, the flag is a symbol of our love of our country, and I tell the story of, you know, a couple of nights after 9/11, we went to the Hollywood Bowl, and they showed the spotlight on the flag up in the sky, and I started to cry, you know?
Sure.
I love the flag.
Yep.
And like you, that's not a huge deal. The flag, you know, most churches many churches these days have gymnasiums, and they have a flag in the gymnasium or in the school, you know, auditorium. I do think that the danger is that we will sort of, seeing the flag in church would give the sense that God and country go together in some intimate way. And that can be bad. But, you know, I also think it's a teaching moment, you know. You know, we sing these wonderful songs, and as I say in my book, you know, before I started writing it, I actually went and studied all of the patriotic songs. And many of them have really good stuff in them. I mean, you know, God shed his grace on thee. God mend thine every flaw, you know.
Oh, isn't that great?
And so if the flag is there in the sanctuary, if it's already there, you're not going to get it out of there as a preacher. But you might want to say, hey, folks, you know, we're reminded that we're here in the United States of America. It's Memorial Day weekend, or it's the 4th of July weekend. And it's a good time to think about our country. And so the flag can remind us of that. And to sing that song that we just sang, that we ask God to mend our many flaws. And we need to think together as believers, what are the flaws that we ask God, by God's grace, you know, to repair in our lives. I think we need more of that kind of talk. And if the flag can make that happen, then that's good, you know. But there are a lot of pastors, I know pastors who, you know, I tell the story in my book, a guy saying, boy, I just made it through Memorial Day weekend, and now I got to get ready for the 4th of July, you know. And, but, you know, to think about the teaching ministry of the church, what does it mean to be a citizen? What does it mean to honor the flag? What does it mean to love your country? These are good questions for Christians.
Dr. Richard Mouw is with us. His latest book is called How to Be a Patriotic Christian, Love of Country as Love of Neighbor. Richard is the professor of faith and public life at Fuller Theological Seminary in sunny Pasadena, where he served as president for more than 20 years. Richard, one of my favorite poems in the world, and certainly my favorite poem about our country, is "Let America Be America Again" by Langston Hughes. And one of the things that one of my favorite lines from that is, "A land that has never been yet, and yet must be, a land where every man is free." Yeah. So he's saying that this is the way America was set up, and we have to love how America was set up, and we have to love the ideals of America. And yet, while we also recognize it hasn't ever been that way yet, but we're still working toward that. But so you have to recognize both things, the beauty of the idea and accepting the fact that we haven't done it.
No, that's actually really a very good point, and that Langston Hughes poem is wonderful. So that when we say we love our country, we love what it stands for, we love what it could be if it lived up to its ideals, you know. And we're aware of things in our past that have been bad, you know.
Sure.
the ways in which we treated our native peoples, and we have these stories. Thanksgiving is coming up, and, we'll probably still hear how wonderful it was that the Pilgrims invited the Indians to eat turkey and mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving. But, that's not true. And we need to be more honest in telling the stories. If we're people who love the truth, we've got to look truthfully at those stories, but also to say, they had an opportunity there that they messed up, and we need to begin thinking about how we can undo some of the things that we've done with our native. We're getting a lot of evidence now of the ways in which even white Christians who've run schools on reservations have been inexcusably cruel to native kids, and we need to take all that seriously. And it's okay, because God wants us to know our sins and to confess our sins, and He's promised that He can do good things and fulfill the Langston Hughes promise there.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Richard Mouw, his newest work is How to Be a Patriotic Christian. Richard, let's take a little different turn here. If you were in Pittsburgh, you would see it's a sort of prototypical fall day. It's cloudy, it's chilly. The only thing that would make it even more perfect on this fall day is that there would be playoff baseball. But you, in sunny California, sitting atop the Dodgers and their record 111 wins.
Richard.
You got baseball in your future, friend, don't you?
Yeah, we do, and my grandkids who are Yankee fans have it in their future as well.
How can that be? The Yankee fans in your family.
I know, it's terrible.
It is terrible.
But this is a case, too, where, just like with my country, I've got to love my grandkids, and I've got to be critical of them when they fail to live up to their promise.
It's a fallen world, Richard. What can we say?
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah, right. But I do wish you well during this season. You got a football team.
They're not a good football team, but thanks for asking.
You've got to,
It's still good. It's all good, Richard, right? I mean,
yeah.
It's good to be alive.
We're glad to be here. And it's always good. Richard, you had a stroke a few months ago, and
you sound great.
You sound terrific. Tell us how the recovery's going.
It's going really well. In fact, my rehab people, I just had one here a little while ago today, and he's saying, boy, you're really coming along. I can walk without a walker.
Oh, that's awesome, Richard.
But they've said, you've got to be careful. It's the most dangerous time because I've still got some balance problems, and I can't take too many chances because if I were to fall and break my hip, I'd be in trouble for years.
Yes,
No, but I'm really grateful for the help that I'm getting, and I'm doing well. Yeah, it's hopeful. Yeah,
that's terrific, Richard. We love you.
We do.
I will love you. I love you guys. Yeah, it's great to be with you, and I do wish that as sports fans, you could have a little better life.
We live vicariously through you, Richard.
Exactly.
Keep on trucking, friend.
Talk soon.
Hey, thanks so much.
Very nice. How to Be a Patriotic Christian. Listen, it's fabulous. Richard Mouw, check it out.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
What if I told you you can save a baby's life for just $28? Well, it's true. Preborn is a ministry doing just that with the help of people like you by offering free ultrasound sessions to pregnant girls and women who otherwise might choose to end their pregnancy. We know that pregnant girls and women who can see their babies on ultrasound are far more likely to choose life. Your gift today can save babies' lives. Just $28 can give a mother the chance to see the truth of the baby that is growing inside her. $140 can do this for 5 girls and women. Whether you want to save one baby or 5 or hundreds, that opportunity is just a click or phone call away. Call 833-850-BABY. That's 833-850-2229. Or click on the preborn banner at wordfm.com.
You're not who you were 25 years ago. Your life's more complex. People change, families change, and the law changes. This is Jay Hagerman of Abernathy & Hagerman, and a proper estate plan should keep up with those changes. That's why Abernathy & Hagerman presents free ongoing estate planning workshops with attorney Dan Reimer, someone who's really good at making complex concepts sound so simple, so you can protect what's yours and to ensure that your will is done. The next one's happening soon. For details and to attend, visit a-h.law.
Do you need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. Don't overpay for new blinds. Shop today and save big. Blindster.com.
We are everywhere. On your radio at 101.5 WORD-FM Pittsburgh, at wordfm.com, the Word FM mobile app, iHeart, TuneIn, and Odyssey.
Partly cloudy skies expected for tonight with a low of 39. Partly sunny tomorrow, breezy and cool. Will reach a high of 55. A moonlit sky tomorrow night. There can be frost in the normally colder spots. Make sure to cover your outdoor plants. We'll see a low of 37. Plenty of sunshine Sunday. A nice end to the weekend. We'll reach a high Sunday of 60. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm forecaster Drew Shannon.
Time now for This or That. It's our weekly feature. I've got a list. Kath has a list. We just choose one or the other. Kath, let me give you my list for this week, all right?
I'm super excited about
all
it,
right,
John.
Here we go.
Wait, let me get comfortable.
No theme, nothing like that.
No theme, no, because why would you use a theme?
You tend to do the themes.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm theme related. Go ahead. I'm ready.
In pain, sitting up.
Yes.
In pain, lying down.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to be in pain, I think I'd probably choose lying down.
All right, good. Episcopalian. Anglican.
I choose... See, I'm going to offend people when I say this.
No,
I choose Anglican.
All right.
I can't say it, but I choose it.
Tony Evans.
Yes.
Paul Shepard.
Oh, that's mean.
This or that.
I love those guys. Paul Shepard is my fave, though. Tony Evans is second, though. Because Tony was mad at me that time that I met him and I put a Steeler jersey on him.
Well.
He was angry.
A loaf of bread. Single-serving communion.
A loaf of bread. The single-serving thing is truly sad to me.
Grape juice. Wine.
It doesn't matter much to me. Okay, I'm going to say grape juice.
All right. Stained glass church windows. A church bell.
Oh. I can't. Can you have one without the other?
Yeah, sure.
But I don't like to. I don't want to. Okay, I choose the stained glass windows. But I love a bell.
Yes, of course. Right.
Love a bell.
Especially when you're home.
I love a good
Can you hear
bell.
a bell in your
yes,
neighborhood?
I love an old bell. Like when you're in Europe and you hear the bells, like super 100-year-old, 400-year-old bells. Those are the kind of bells I like.
Lovely. The Allman Brothers. The Average White Band.
That was a big average right band.
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Kenny Woods.
Well, for sure. I mean, 10 times out of 10 times Kenny Woods.
All right.
Though I want Kenny Pickett to do very well on Sunday.
Local anesthesia. General anesthesia.
I choose local, John.
Okay. All right. Shake it off, right? Reading the print edition. Reading it on your iPad.
Well, I know that I would like the print edition, but I'll choose iPad.
Okay. Rahab. Mary Magdalene.
Oh. Oh, they're both so good. I'm going Rahab because she's tricky. She was a smart lady.
Yeah, she was.
Not that Mary Magdalene wasn't, but you know.
Loretta Lynn.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton.
Dolly.
Aaron Judge. Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Judge. Yes. Over and over.
Kmart stores, Spirit Halloween stores.
Well, they're one and the same now, sadly. Sadly. Does that Spirit thing give you the willies?
No.
Okay.
It's big business.
All right, Willie. I'll choose
I've
Spirit.
never been inside
then.
one, though.
Okay.
Right.
Well, then why do you know?
I don't know. Just you drive by them. Okay, that's my this or that. Thank you.
All right, the Major League Baseball playoffs start. They've already started, actually. No, they started
they're
this
going on right
afternoon. Yeah. The Pirates aren't in them.
What?
So I give you the left out again edition of this or that.
Left out.
You ready?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Number 1, watching Major League Baseball playoffs that the Pirates aren't in, or watching NFL playoffs the Steelers aren't in.
Well, I'm very used to watching the playoffs the Pirates aren't in, so I'm just going to do the same thing again. Yeah, for sure.
Number 2, being picked last for kickball or striking out in t-ball.
No one strikes out in t-ball, so I'll say striking out in t-ball.
Oh, because that doesn't happen?
No.
Number 3, John, being left off of the recycling team at the convent or not making the drum and bugle corps.
Oh, boy. I long to be the convent recycling team. And that was very, very special.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah, I'll choose that.
Would you choose that? The left out again edition of this or that. This is number 4. Ryan Gosling in Lars and the Real Girl.
Oh, yeah.
Or Tom Hanks in Castaway.
Oh, I love Lars and the Real Girl. Do yourself a favor.
It's one of my favorite movies
love that.
of all time.
Lars and the Real Girl.
It is
Great
so
movie.
Good.
Yep.
Number 5, not getting the part you wanted in a play or not getting the girl you wanted.
Both painful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I standing at the call sheet and not seeing your name, I can't say it's never happened. I'll choose that.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your name not on the call sheet.
Yeah.
Very painful.
Very, very. Yeah. Okay. Number 6, the kids from The Outsiders or the kids from Stranger Things.
The kids from Stranger Things.
Thank you.
Because they're a nice group.
Aren't they?
But they've all grown up.
Well, not that you would know since you haven't watched it. Number 7, the Pens after Sid retires or the Steelers after Ben retires?
Ooh. The Pens after Sid retires. To me, that was cataclysmic. That really was.
Number 8, the Pips or the Supremes?
The Supremes.
Number 9.
Thank you.
The notable number of former Pirates who are in this year's Major League Baseball playoffs.
Painful.
Or the notable number of people who've gotten an insurance payout from their car accident before you.
Yeah. I wonder about that.
What is going on with that?
I guess that's just gone forever. I don't know.
Number 10.
All right.
Being picked on by your 5 sisters, John, your whole blessed life.
Yeah.
Or Jeffrey Chico getting to Winkies before you.
Oh, Jeffrey Chico. I still bear a grudge against that guy. His mom picked him up and drove him to Winkies? Who did that in the 60s?
101.5 WORD.
I was sitting there and I seen the ultrasound and I just seen the baby. And at that moment, I wanted to keep the baby. She said, "There go the heartbeat."
You've heard that seeing is believing. That's certainly true when it comes to pregnancies. It's been shown that abortion-minded women who see their babies on an ultrasound are likely to have that baby. Today, you can provide a free ultrasound for a pregnant woman for just $28, the cost to save the life of a baby. So whether you want to save 1 or 5 or hundreds of babies, Word FM and Preborn are here to help. Call today, 833-850-BABY, or go to wordfm.com.
Christian television is one of the best way to tell the world the truth, where you don't have to live in chaos, and you can access peace and hope, and that there is a God who loves you.
Bridge of Hope is coming soon on Cornerstone Television Network. Get involved and hear from special guests Auntie Ann Beeler, founder of Auntie Ann's Pretzels, David and Nicole Binion, Jay Gilbert, Mike Smalley, and Jennifer Evaz. Join us October 3rd through 7th at 8 p.m. on Cornerstone Television Network.
Meet Brad. Brad's hard at work, or at least his website is. Ever since he added live chat with Salem Surround, Brad's customers are getting their questions answered 24/7. Website purchases have gone up 35%, and they're over 3 times more likely to buy from him again. No bots, just real people helping real people. Live chat. One of the easiest, most affordable ways Salem Surround can increase your business while you do other things, or nothing at all. Ask us how. at surroundpittsburgh.com.
Bachman's Roofing and Solar is your local award-winning roofer. Stop waiting. It's time to inspect your roof and protect your home's #1 asset. With no interest and no payment financing for 12 months, Bachman's Roofing is your easy choice for roofing, gutters, and solar. Did you know Bachman's Roofing is one of the #1 GAF solar integrated roofing installers in the USA? Go with Bachman's. Go with solar and install the roof that pays for itself. Call 412-744-8390 or visit bachmansroofing.com.
Hearth and Home Furnishings in Zelienople offers plenty of ways to get cozy this fall. Bring beauty, value, and warmth to your home with their wide selection of American-made gas, electric, and wood-burning fireplaces. Or choose the authentic rustic charm of a gas or wood-burning stove or insert. And their realistic vented gas logs allow you to set the mood without the mess. Relax and get comfortable with Hearth and Home Furnishings in Zelienople at hearthandhomepa.com.
101.5 WORD-FM Pittsburgh. On your smart speaker by saying, play the word Pittsburgh. And on your phone via the Word FM mobile app, iHeart, TuneIn, and Odyssey.
All right, every week, Kath and I peruse Twitter far too much, so you don't have to. These are our likes for the week, things we found interesting or somehow affected us. Kath, you want to go?
No, you go first, John.
All right. Here's my first like, Dick Vitale.
Oh, Dick Vitale.
I have a tough time buying that it's okay to cheat to gain stardom. Just listen to all those that refuse to recognize Aaron Judge as the all-time home run leader with 62. I absolutely refuse to buy that cheating is okay and should be rewarded. End of story.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Fabulous. Aaron Judge is the home run king.
A Happier Day tweeted this today, John. Meet Otis, last year's champion and 4-time winner of Fat Bear Week at Alaska's Katmai National Park.
A new champion.
This is last year's,
Okay.
just to inspire us to vote.
Oh, boy. That is a big bear.
Otis, it's a large boy.
Holy smokes. What do you think he weighs?
Show him on screen.
Well,
Oh, show him on screen. Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
let me pull up Otis here
Fabulous.
because he's awesome.
Holy moly. Wait, you press the
this way.
thing. No.
Oh, no, wait.
No, see, there you go.
There we go.
That's complex. Very good. That's a big boy. He is not on Weight Watchers.
No, he's not on Weight Watchers, but he shouldn't be because Fat Bear Week, he would not win.
Mm-hmm.
if he was.
Fabulous. All right, Dan White Jr., friend of
Yeah.
ours, he says this: Jesus demonstrated one of the surest ways to connect with others across political and social divides. Share a meal, tell stories, ask good questions.
Aren't they good?
Yeah. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Boy, if we did that with our family every day, you think how much further ahead we'd be?
Yep. Share a meal.
Dustin Benge tweeted this today. On this day in 1536, William Tyndale was strangled and burned at the stake for translating the scriptures into English for the common man.
Wow.
His final words, Lord, open the King of England's eyes.
Wow.
You think about what, the Queen professing her faith
Yep.
in Christ and it being proclaimed at her
Funeral.
and all of the assorted things.
Yep.
He was praying for the
And there it was.
the monarch
right
of the
there.
of
Wonder how many
England,
times she read those
1536.
words.
It's a good question.
Fabulous. The Washington Free Press had an interview with Kanye, of all people.
Okay.
Now, he is controversial.
You think?
He's a little wackadoodle sometimes, but in this interview, he says this: I'm pro-life. There's more black babies being aborted than born in New York City at this point.
Yep.
50% of black death in America is abortion. So I really don't care about people's responses. I perform for an audience of one, and that's God.
All right. I like that.
Do it, Kanye.
That's the thing about Kanye is he says something or he does something that I really like
Yep.
a lot. And then he's
can
an
be
idiot.
wackadoodle.
I don't know what to say.
I like him.
Pittsburgh Pirates Rant podcast says this, and you're the one who sent it to me, John. Ex-Pirate Quintana will start tomorrow afternoon versus the Phillies. Ex-Pirate Glasnow will get the start Saturday afternoon versus the Guardians. Ex-Pirate Musgrove will get the start Saturday night versus the Mets. And in the divisional series, Tyone, Cole, Anderson, and Charlie Morton all get starts.
Yep. Always our castaways, right? Players to be named later, trading for...
Oh my gosh, that's so depressing.
Yeah, it's the drag. David O'Taylor, he tweeted this prayer, which I thought significant. He says, "Oh Lord, you who are able to do far more than I could ask or imagine, help me, I pray, to be kind and compassionate to my fellow believer when I would rather hold on to resentment and judgment, so that we may together experience your beautiful, reconciling love. In Jesus' name, amen.
Well, isn't that good to see on Twitter?
Yeah.
When it's all about, I hate you and I hate your team and I hate your posse and I hate your denomination and I hate your color and I hate everything else.
Oftentimes there are people, stalwarts of Christian faith,
that
who are very faithful. Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of people who are faithful online, Beth Moore. Beth is going to be putting her dog to sleep tomorrow. Queen Esther, who's been around for a long time. And this is what she said today. I promise you this. These last 30 hours we will have with her in our sight, I will not watch Queen Esther's waistline. She shall eat like a king. Pigs in a blanket for breakfast this morning, beef stew for supper tonight, and all the time, Lord Jesus, have mercy on all our aching hearts.
One of the worst times in a family's life.
So
the worst. Yep.
Awful.
Nate Pyle says this: if you assume people left the faith when they left your politics, you revealed your faith is your politics.
Oh, boy.
Very good.
Yeah, that's very... I want to give props to the Cultural Tutor. It's one of my very favorite follows on Twitter.
Okay.
And just this week, he posted one piece of fine art for every year of the 20th century. In chronological order. Did that blow your mind?
It's incredible.
Didn't you love it?
How long did that take to curate?
I don't know.
Like
but it's so... If you're on Twitter, go to the Cultural Tutor and look at that. Whoever this guy or this girl is who runs this site... It's worth the whole price of admission being there.
You'd sit there for hours.
You really could.
It's
that good.
Okay. Someone named Eric Elper tweeted this. Dolly Parton wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You on the same day. On the same day.
Wow.
That's talent. All right. That's our Twitter likes for the week.
International travel is open again. So now is the perfect time for that trip to Israel, the trip of a lifetime. A trip to the Holy Land will bring you face to face with one of the most fascinating countries on earth. More than just a vacation, this meaningful trip is your opportunity to enjoy the freedom to travel again, walking the ancient streets of Jerusalem where Jesus walked, sailing the Sea of Galilee, and floating in the mineral-rich Dead Sea with its healing and rejuvenating power. Sebastian Gorka and Dinesh D'Souza, along with our trusted travel partner Inspiration Cruises and Tours, personally invite you to experience Israel with them this November. To book your trip to Israel, log on to standwithisraeltour.com. That's standwithisraeltour.com. Then call 855-565-5519 to secure your spot. Call today, 855-565-5519.
The coming midterms may be the most important election in the history of our country. The battle lines are drawn. The war for America's soul is on the line. Now is your chance to help freedom win. Join Salem Media Group and this station for the Battleground Talkers Tour coming in October. The best minds in conservative media and thought will dissect the coming election. Learn who is on the right side. Join us for a vigorous discussion about the issues that are so crucial to you, your family, and community. The economy and inflation, the border crisis, our civil rights under attack, higher taxes, and the effects the Biden administration is having on this country. The Battleground Talkers Tour will be something you never forget and could make the difference in this coming election. Join us.
Wired Differently presents Gallagher, Hewitt, Prager, and Tatum, the Battleground Talkers Tour, Thursday, October 20th at the Doubletree by Hilton and Greentree. Tickets at wordfm.com. Sponsored in part by Abernathy and Hagerman Law.
Hi, this is John Hall. You've all helped build MyPillow into the incredible company it is today, and have trusted in Mike Lindell to give you a great night's sleep. On top of the special exclusively from my listeners on the Perkel and Giza Dream bed sheets marked down as low as $29.98, Mike is now changing the game with his 3-piece towel set. The set is made with USA cotton, making it extremely absorbent, yet still providing that soft feel you look for in a towel. The set comes with 1 bath, 1 hand towel, 1 washcloth, typically retailing for $49.99. Now, for a limited time, you get this 3-piece towel set for the low price of $19.98 with a promo code WORD. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. This is a limited supply, so be sure to order now. Call 1-800-391-0954. Use the promo code WORD or go to mypillow.com. Click on the radio listener square and use promo code WORD. These offers will not last long, so order now with promo code WORD at mypillow.com for this radio exclusive offer on all bed sheets.
So in today's PG, there was a more lengthy description than I had seen before of the new plans for downtown and the North Shore. So this is the area between the Three Sisters bridges. Okay. So I'm not sure. All I know is the Clemente one. I know which one that is, but if you, obviously they're all the same. But from one end, if you can picture, to the other end, they're going to be making some changes on both sides of the water.
Okay. I know both sides of those very well.
Okay.
They could use some help.
So, the North Shore part, it's nice, but it's not great.
Right.
Over there, right? So it was like there were walking paths that were connecting those office buildings that kind of sit up,
there.
Right. You can go down.
Sure.
So they changed the landscaping several times to make it more inviting, but the area's never really caught on as much as they hoped that it would. So yesterday, River Life, which that's one word, held a ceremonial groundbreaking for the latest effort to fix that area, or not to fix it, but to just kind of pump it up a little bit, and also to change things on the downtown side. This is the agency that has overseen riverfront development all over that area. Anyway, so this is going to be a coordinated effort, John, to revitalize the 5 blocks between the Three Sister bridges on both sides of the Allegheny. Okay. So, in addition to dock work at Allegheny Landing, there are plans for computerized decorative lighting on the bridges. We talked about that LED light display, which I don't like the idea of.
Yeah, they want to have, some little art show.
Yeah,
right?
I don't really like that, but that's okay. They didn't ask me, and so they don't care what I think. Redesign of Allegheny's Riverfront Park on the downtown side of the river. The Andy Warhol Museum's pop-up street galleries. Okay. Additional changes to Allegheny Landing itself that will make it more inviting to North Shore visitors. Okay. The process begins with the $700,000 project to build new boat docks to replace those severely damaged by ice jams 3 years ago. Crews from Marion Hill Associates of New Brighton, working from a barge and in the water Thursday, placed new specially treated wooden dock supports delivered from Houston, and another contractor is going to install the deck to provide spaces for 15 boats.
So is that on the north side?
Yeah.
It's on the north side, okay.
Yep.
Because the area like from Point State Park, like where it's flattened there, right? It's right at the river's edge.
Well, that's the place that's become the drug haven.
Yeah. And you have to go up those steps to get out of that.
To get onto Fort Duquesne Boulevard.
And then there's landscaping and, the boulevard. But it's not like really a destination place.
It's not a destination place, but they're hoping it would be a destination place. But they're not going to be able to make it into a destination place if they don't do something about what's going on down by the river.
It's pretty much a homeless encampment, isn't it?
Listen, I can't tell you how many miles I've walked along that river.
Yeah.
On that side, both sides. But I loved to park downtown, maybe get something to eat in the cultural district, walk down the steps, and take the whole slow walk in the summer down to the...
Sometimes it's a little shaky.
Well, there are 2 parts in particular that seem a little dangerous. In its best times, just because you can't quite see what's going on. It's dark down there.
Yeah.
But now?
Then go down there. How about our friend Megan Spear on the north side, right? She's on the other side of the river, further down. I mean, that's kind of like her second home.
By the Children's Museum.
Yeah.
Early next year, the concrete bollards and chains at the edge of the river, you know what I'm talking about on the north side, they're going to be replaced with decorative fencing to improve safety and enhance the artistic nature.
I like those.
I'd like them too.
Because they're like old Pittsburgh.
I agree with that. Okay, the projects are being financed through a coalition of public, private, and foundation support. What they're trying to do is look at these spaces as essential spaces that are going to draw people back downtown. Because since the pandemic, people have obviously worked from home. Things have changed so much. They feel like they need to do something to bring to have people
a destination.
Remember how much they liked being down there, so that they'll come back again.
I don't know. That's a tall order. town was fragile before the pandemic, even with all the office workers
So
down
the
there.
year before the pandemic, we started having those spats of violence downtown.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before that, things were super good. I mean, I thought that was like, to me, that was the golden age of the
The Golden Triangle.
Well, I was thinking of the theater district.
Okay. I mean, I would say the golden age of the Golden Triangle was like the 1950s through maybe the year 2000. And then I think downtown changed. Once the big department stores left, Kaufman's, Gimbel's, Horns, and retail essentially disappeared. And then PNC, God bless them, they tried to do something, but essentially downtown has been void of small businesses.
Right.
Now it just seems to be a bit of a mess. The good news is that more people are living downtown than ever before, which they should have done many, many decades ago.
Right.
So maybe if Pittsburgh was a destination for affordable housing, that middle-class people could live downtown, then...
Well, it doesn't seem like any of the housing that's opening up downtown is for middle-class people.
No, it's not. It's expensive to live downtown.
It's expensive.
And there's no grocery store downtown.
Right. Well, there's going to be the Target has opened. Is that right?
Yeah, it's open.
And
But it's
the
a small
basement of what was
Target.
Kaufman's.
And what kind of groceries? I mean, kind of minimal. It's not like,
Well, if that's the only only one, that's going to be everybody's favorite one.
Right. But before that, you had to leave downtown and go to the North Hills or this wherever and go shopping, grocery shopping.
Right. So what about, it's strange because we had for years, all the years that I was a kid, we had all of the retail downtown.
Loved it.
Right. And we didn't have people living downtown.
Right. So now it's flip-flop.
So now it's flipped. If you live downtown, where are you going shopping? I mean, I'm not talking groceries. I'm talking like there's no department store.
No.
There's no
you're
Saks.
Getting in your car and you're going out to Ross
going
Park
to the mall. That's
I think
what you're
so,
doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're going to Ross Park Mall probably because that's the closest.
And when's the last time you ate out downtown?
We went to the Brazilian Steakhouse.
I've always wanted to go there. The one that's across from where Saks used to be.
Right. Yeah, it was my kid's birthday, and we're like, choose a place, and that's what he chose. It was fabulous. And the place was packed. But again, that was pre-pandemic.
Right. But wait, you went to the Arts Festival this year that was downtown?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you eat?
We did. Yeah. And the Arts Festival was in a different location. It wasn't in the park anymore for whatever reason. The Arts Festival was fun. It was smaller, but I'm always happy to be downtown. I'm a downtown person. I've been downtown on a regular basis since I was a kid.
Right.
We used to take a bus downtown when we were like 11 or 12 years old. And so you see...
Well, you went to Point Park. So.
Yeah. And lived on the north side and, would regularly, every day, walk from the north side to downtown to go to college and then go up to Oakland to the Playhouse. So that's in my blood. But downtown, everybody who lives in a downtown area, doesn't matter if it's Washington, D.C. or St. Louis or Atlanta, it comes with its own set of challenges.
And it changes a lot.
It does. So Pittsburgh, again, trying to reinvent itself. You have to make it affordable for people, especially for families. Right now, it seems like it's singles or dinks, right? Double income, no kids, or downtown, and that's cool. But I mean, families are the lifeblood of this. So how can you make that turn around? Plus, I just read, you were talking about downtown. They want to build movie theaters downtown.
Right, like 6 of them or
the
something?
Cultural Trust on 6th Street, right next to the Byam Theater. It had been originally a movie theater years ago.
Right.
Then it was a nightclub. Then it was a health club. Now they want to put 6
That's
movie
in the
theaters.
basement of the Renaissance. Is that what you're talking about? Is that in the basement of the
Yes.
or the first floor of the Renaissance?
First floor, right, yeah. They want to put movie theater. No one's going to go downtown. First of all, no one's going to the movies anymore.
Right.
And especially movie theaters downtown, unless you live downtown. But I think there's one theater downtown, the Harris Theater on Liberty Avenue. To be honest, I'd like to live downtown. I'd like to experience what that's like.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. But a lot of work needs to be done.
I think I'd like to live on the North Shore.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I love the north side. Heck, every time I go to the north side, it's filled with nostalgia for me.
Yeah, me too.
Because I lived there while I was in college. I had a great time on the north side. We were there yesterday at the Priory.
Right.
I think it's a wonderful neighborhood.
Okay, what
still.
about living on Washington's Landing?
Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
Me too. But that's kind of like a ghetto, Washington's Landing.
It is. It's its own thing.
Yeah, not a negative ghetto.
No,
I'm just saying
it's
an enclave. You're there. There's not much. You have to leave there. but it's like a closed community. It's almost like a gated community in some way without the gate.
Right. I think it would. I just like the idea of being surrounded by water on both sides.
Yeah,
They've done a nice job with those condos setting them up there.
They sure have, but that's big money.
Yeah, and that's why neither your family nor my family are doing it.
No.
Which is the problem.
No, we're
That's kind of the crux of what we're talking about today.
Anyway, God bless these people trying to revitalize an area that needs some work. Would it be great that, we had Civic Pride in downtown Pittsburgh and it was a place of vitality and the arts all together so people would gather? That's all. Okay, we'll take a quick break. That's the 4 o'clock hour of the ride home. Headed forward to the 5 o'clock. We got more ahead. We're going to talk with Doug Oster, right? We talked about Doug yesterday on the air.
What do you do with your garden in the fall?
And your composting troubles, Kat.
Oh,
if you were
did
downtown.
you tell him about my composting troubles?
No, but I'm going to bring it up.
101.5 WORD-FM Pittsburgh. On your smart speaker by saying, play the word Pittsburgh. And on your phone via the Word FM mobile app, iHeart, TuneIn, and Odyssey.
.com.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. America's employers slowed their hiring in September, but still added 263,000 jobs.
September's jobless rate may mean the Federal Reserve's drive to cool the job market and ease inflation is starting to make progress. The government's report showed that last month's job growth was down from 315,000 in August and that the unemployment rate fell to 3.5%. Slower job growth would mean less pressure on employers to raise pay and pass those costs on to their customers.
Correspondent Jeremy House with that report. September's more moderate pace of hiring may be welcomed by the Fed, which is trying to restrain the economy enough to tame the worst inflation in 4 decades. That's without causing a recession. On Wall Street, the Dow is...
Nothing in this world beats real-life experience. Now, of course, a lot of us have sent our kids to college. There's a lot of classroom work and theory and whatnot. But then, hopefully, there's a day where the rubber hits the road and your kid goes out and spreads wings and becomes part of the real-life environment of what it is to earn a living.
And prior to that, the internship is what gets you ready, right? That's the time when you're like kind of in the work world, but not fully in the work world, right? And you're kind of trying to test your wings and ask the questions and
get some guidance
and maybe perform well enough that you could get somebody's attention later on and maybe get a job.
Right. Now, at Grove City College, the opportunity for internships exists, and people cement themselves inside of a corporation. And once you graduate, then, the possibilities are endless. On campus, people come to Grove City and go, we know the nature, the quality of these students. This is an A+. We're invested in these students because we see what you produce. Count us in as corporate partners.
So if that sounds interesting to you or something that might be appealing and a great thing for your child to strive for, consider Grove City College. Look them up online, gcc.edu. That's Grove City College.
Celebrate fall during Community Market Days at Bednar's Farm and Greenhouse. Every Saturday from 11 to 3, Bednar's has plenty to enjoy, including local goods and vendors, a food truck, live music, wine tastings, cooking and gardening workshops, DIY and kids activities, plus everything you need for your fall gardening and decor, with fresh-cut pumpkins, gourds, corn stalks, mums, and lots more. Community Market Days, every Saturday at Bednar's Farm and Greenhouse in McDonald. Visit bednarsgreenhouse.com.
I love seeing the transformation of a smile.
There's a reason patients love Dr. Megan Stock, voted Pittsburgh Trib's Best of the Best dentist in Northern Allegheny County for the 2nd year in a row.
You don't have to do full mouth rehabilitation to really transform a patient's life, for a patient to be able to smile confidently and be happy with their own smile.
Exceptional dentistry meets compassionate care. Stock Family Dentistry, Perry Highway in Wexford, at stockfamilydentistry.com. Are you tired of exposing your retirement to stock market risk? How would you like the potential to participate in credited interest from market indexed returns and limit the downside? Join Michael Battolini for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, Saturdays at 11:30 a.m. here on Word FM. You can also call Michael Battolini now for your complimentary customized Retirement and Income Radio Kit and Retirement and Income Radio book at 1-844-449-SAFE. That's 1-844-449-7233.
Partly cloudy skies expected for tonight with a low of 39. Partly sunny tomorrow, breezy and cool. Will reach a high of 55. A moonlit sky tomorrow night. There can be frost in the normally colder spots. Make sure to cover your outdoor plants. We'll see a low of 37. Plenty of sunshine Sunday. A nice end of the weekend. We'll reach a high Sunday of 60. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm forecaster Drew Shannon.
Welcome to another edition of The Ride Home with John and Kathy, live from the Salem Pittsburgh studios. And now here are your hosts, John Hall and Kathy Emmons.
Fabulous, isn't it? It's 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, and the sun's kind of struggling to get out.
Yeah, it's been kind of a dark gray fall day in Pittsburgh.
I like it.
But I have to tell you that it's still beautiful. I decided to make a trip out to Sorgel's Orchard in Wexford today. And I wasn't feeling well earlier in the week, and so I just thought it'd be good to get outside.
Yeah,
anyway.
a little fresh air.
And there are so many people there on the weekends because of the fall festivals and such. I decided to go out there. Anyway, you know how much I love summer, and I always mourn the end of it.
Yes.
I'm super sad about it, and I get like all melancholy and everything. When I was out there and smelling the cider and seeing the taffy apples, and, you know, I got a whole bunch of apples. I'm going to make all of that. I guess it isn't so bad, is what I thought.
No, it's really beautiful, right?
The season, I mean, is not so bad.
No, that's very, very nice. I love it. But, you know, you just know it's coming, which is the worst part of it all, right?
So if you were going out to, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you because you want to talk about something in particular. If you were going out to a farm market such as Sorgel's, which I highly recommend in Wexford, what would you be looking for? Like when you think of fall treats, are you thinking pumpkin roll? Are you thinking
pomegranates?
Pomegranates, because that's what World Series means for you.
Yeah. Fall and a pomegranate to me sort of go hand in hand. Yeah, a pumpkin roll would be very nice. A taffy apple or a caramel apple?
Which one?
What's a pomegranate?
It's not a candle.
We remember you fondly, Mike Duffy.
Yes.
Yeah.
A taffy apple. I think I need to go old school and do the taffy apple.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I like it.
Your teeth are wrecked.
No, they're not. No.
How could you? No,
What,
I don't
do
know.
you think a caramel apple's any better?
Well, that's a good point.
No, I mean, they're both kind of the same in a way.
Okay, now this is going to be an unpopular thing to say, but I'm going to be honest about who I am. I always pull out a knife and fork. I am not biting that thing off the stick.
Really?
Never.
Wait, that's so feat.
I know it is.
You're using a knife and a fork with a caramel apple?
All I'm saying is that's who I am.
Really? That sounds funny. All right. Well, whatever. Different. But you would eat one, obviously.
Yeah, caramel apple, not a taffy apple.
Not a taffy apple?
No.
Really?
But the woman in front of me bought 3.
Taffy apples. See, because she loves her kids. She's going home and you go,
They
hey,
were the
babies.
last 3 they had.
See, they sell. Were there caramel apples? They probably were all sold out too.
I didn't see any.
When you get like a bag of caramels, I mean, do you go to town?
No, I don't like those a whole lot.
I love caramels.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not my thing.
A dark caramel?
Is that better or worse than the light?
It's better for me.
Does it taste different?
It's darker. It's like dark chocolate almost.
Huh.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Okay. I believe you. I'm sorry. Now you can get back to what you were going to talk about.
Anyway, are you a fan of 60 Minutes, the news program?
Listen, I know that CBS News does not have a perfect past. I think back to Dan Rather getting canned, which he should have for the whole G.W. Bush scandal. That was ridiculous. That was so ridiculous. I like 60 Minutes.
I'm always interested in it. Is it the longest running news program
It has to be.
on television for, I think, almost 60 years? So this week, I was reading today, on 60 Minutes, Southern Baptist Convention new president Bart Barber will appear in a segment on 60 Minutes. Now, I saw a quick preview there. It's just a matter of curiosity. It's not like, all of a sudden Morley Safer is going to come busting into the room and have the cops with Bart Barber.
Right. Barbara Walters is going to come out and give him the what for.
Right. I believe it's a curiosity, right, of what the Southern Baptist Convention is, the recent struggles of what it is, and to introduce Bart Barber to a larger audience in America.
I'll tell you what, that's brave.
That's very brave.
I wouldn't. If I were him, I would be scared to death.
Bart Barber? No, I don't think this guy's he's a chicken.
Right. I think it's great.
Bart Barber, he was a pastor in a small town of like 3,600 people for a decade.
Okay.
And one of those guys who did due diligence and was really faithful, obviously he's a very bright man, with his congregation and his denomination. He has risen to national prominence in a very short order. So I'll be really interested to see, because they're coming out of a rough time, are they not?
They're still in a rough time. I don't think they're coming out of it. There's a lot of reckoning that has to be
changing done. With Bart Barber in there, it certainly changes the tone of the conversation and his ability to navigate through those rough times.
It's funny to talk about it because the Southern Baptist Church doesn't mean a whole lot to people in Pittsburgh.
No, or Western Pennsylvania.
Right, or in the Northeast in general.
But you go down to the Mason-Dixie line.
Oh, my gosh.
It's a lot. It's everything for a lot of people, right?
It is the largest denomination in America, but not only that, there's not even a close second.
No, there isn't.
I mean, there are 14 million Southern Baptists in America.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, I think the next highest denomination has 8, 7. I mean, the monopoly they have over the evangelical world is gigantic.
Right. So I'm really curious. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I do know. This is an Anderson Cooper piece.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
You don't like Anderson?
Not particularly.
You don't trust Anderson?
I'd say I don't.
He's a total pro.
He is a pro. You know what crushes me about a lot of things? His appearance on New Year's Eve. He looks like a fool.
Yeah.
He sullies himself as any sort of serious voice of journalism.
Why does he do that?
I don't know.
Do you think he has to do that?
I don't know. Can't imagine he has to do anything, right? Contractually. He probably chooses what. But oftentimes it's a drunken, stupid conversation.
I agree.
And he, makes sexual connotations, and it's a really odd evening.
I completely agree.
So,
I think it's bad.
And of course, it's CNN, and you take that with a grain of salt. No, but the CNN thing, right? It's CBS. I'm sorry, it's CNN on New Year's Eve.
It is?
Yes. Yeah, it's a CNN party. Yeah.
Okay.
So take that, of course, with a huge grain of salt.
I can't tell you how little attention I pay to New Year's Eve on TV.
It's not really good.
No, of course not.
No, right.
I mean, I thought I was...
Dick Clark is long gone.
And Guy Lombardo.
Oh, Guy Lombardo.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, I rarely watch cable news, period. And with that, I hardly ever would see CNN. So
Anderson Cooper is with
CNN.
Okay. I thought but you're talking about 60 Minutes.
He's on 60 Minutes as well.
Okay.
It was a very smart move by 60 Minutes to carry that audience from CNN over to CBS on Sunday evening.
When CNN's looking for an audience wherever they can get one.
Now, I would say his reporting on 60 Minutes is very fair. Describe that however you want to.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if we think that the treatment of Bart Barber is fair on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the Southern Baptist Church deserves some very difficult questions asked to them by the outside world.
Has there been any denomination or any that has escaped?
Free from that? No.
No, of course
You're
not.
absolutely right.
So, anyway, if you are a fan, it would behoove you to see evangelical Christianity looked at through the lens of CBS News and specifically 60 Minutes, 7 o'clock Sunday night. That's all.
Coming up next, autumn in the garden. Is it possible? And the correct answer is yes. To get 5 harvests from 1 planting of garlic. That's what Doug Oster says, editor of Gardening with Doug. Stay with us. We're going to talk about it next. Friday edition, Ride Home.
101.5 WORD. The station with Pittsburgh's favorite Christian music every weekend.
With the best new music. Jason Gray, When I Say Yes.
When I say yes, Lord.
Matthew West with My Story, Your Glory.
My story, your glory.
And I Speak Jesus from Charity Gale.
I speak Jesus.
celebrating 20 years of bringing Pittsburgh's favorites and the best new music.
101.5 WORD.
On the weekend.
Christian television is one of the best way to tell the world the truth, where you don't have to live in chaos, and you can access peace and hope, and that there is a God who loves you.
Bridge of Hope is coming soon on Cornerstone Television Network. Get involved and hear from special guests Auntie Ann Beeler, founder of Auntie Ann's Pretzels, David and Nicole Binion, Jay Gilbert, Mike Smalley, and Jennifer Evaz. Join us October 3rd through 7th at 8 p.m. on Cornerstone Television Network.
This is Pastor Tom Hall. People are capable of such goodness. So why are we at war with each other? It turns out the Christian faith is completely realistic about human nature. Faith gives us the tools to examine ourselves and imagine a better future. Join us for worship at First Presbyterian Church of Pittsburgh, 326th Avenue, downtown, Sundays at 10:45 for our sermon series, What's Wrong with Us? Learn more at fpcp.org.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
It looks to be a beautiful weekend this week. Classic Western Pennsylvania fall Saturday and Sunday. Might I suggest you head on down to the Spring House, enjoy yourself for a pumpkin patch hayride. Hey, Marsh, you're all ready to go, aren't you?
We are ready to go. The tractors are loaded with hay. We've got gas in the tank. We are ready to take people for fun. We're so tired of this rain and ready to take people up on the hill. We have so much fun stuff up there, John. We have big, giant hay pyramids built with those jumbo-sized bales, and then big pipes coming out of them to slide down. We have a big maze. He always tries to make it, the child left behind thing. And then we have a little kids maze that the kids can just run through and feel pretty safe. And then we have all kinds of old-fashioned games, and we have great meals here, a pork belly buster and a mama mia value meal, plus our great classic menu that we have every day. And then on Sunday we have our hog roast, and we'll have pork and sauerkraut, pit roasted pork, barbecued pork, and all the fixings. So it's a great weekend to come to the Spring House.
Wow. Take your family down for a great weekend of fun and fabulous food. I'm telling you, you're going to eat well and laugh as well. The Spring House. Hey, Marsh, have fun this weekend.
Thanks, John.
Yesterday, on yesterday's show, somehow, as wont is to happen, the conversation kind of went downstream.
Ebbs and flows.
Yeah, we settled on, and I brought up composting.
That was because it was my does this make sense?
Oh, right. Mm-hmm. The compost pile. And you expressed reservations.
I expressed dissatisfaction with my
lack of
composting. And
dissatisfaction, your lack of composting.
I feel like composting is hard, and I'm not able to do it. It seems like it's too high. I want to do it, but it seems too high of a mountain to climb.
Out of your reach. Okay, so say this. In a perfect world, if you yourself had a perfect compost heap, you would do what?
Well, I would enrich the soil of my garden is what I would do.
This is a new low for radio.
The compost pile.
You guys.
That's what we're bringing in.
Composting is huge. I have a friend who lives in Highland Park who said that their neighborhood, whatever the municipality is in Highland Park.
It's the city of Pittsburgh.
Is it really? Yeah. But I think they might have a smaller unit. Anyway, they have group composting. So you put all of your compost outside. Some municipality picks it up. And then when the spring comes, they deliver compost to your house.
What the heck? That sounds like heaven. Composting. Doug Oster, are you there?
Oh, I'm listening. Yes, this is all good stuff. But Kathy, why aren't you composting?
Well, because it seems like it's hard, and I don't know how, and I don't know what to do, Doug.
Stop there. Stop. Anything that once was living will become compost, regardless of what you do to it. So it's not complicated.
Oh.
What it is just getting whatever you want to compost and putting it in a place That could be a bin, that could be a pile, that could be anything. And just letting it sit there until it becomes compost. Now, there's ways to get it quicker. There's ways to build it. There's ratios between browns and greens. But the thing about composting is it is the greatest way to recycle because you get the direct benefit as a gardener. When we recycle our bottles and our cans, we're just doing that like, oh, I'm going to help the environment. But this way, first off, 50% of what you are sending now to the landfill, shame, will now stay on site and will turn into compost. There's nothing to it. It's just having an area. The only thing out of the kitchen we don't save when we're saving things for compost is meat, oils, and creamy dairy. Everything else is good to go, and the reason we don't keep those three things in the compost pile is they can attract rodents. But when you don't put that stuff in, and you just make this pile, and like every time I throw something in the compost pile, I'm throwing either shredded leaves on top of it or some straw. It's so funny because my neighbor was walking by. We live in the woods, and neighbor was walking on a trail and thought nothing of me bringing out this bag of onion scraps and potato peelings and stuff, and dumping it into this area and throwing straw over it. He was just talking to me like it was just another day for two neighbors to meet because he knows I'm the compost dude.
Interesting.
And so, to him it's nothing. And, sometimes your neighbors will be like, what are you doing? But it doesn't smell, and you just make this pile, and a year later, it's compost.
Interesting. Okay, so wait, Doug, so in your kitchen, though, then you've got to have like your regular trash, your recycled trash, if you're doing that, and your compost trash.
Exactly, and this is the hardest part about starting this, is getting your significant other, I mean husbands, to agree that we're going to now split the waste stream, that some stuff's going to go to the trash, and some stuff's going to go into this area. And what's interesting about that, like at my house, my kids are in their 30s, they're gone, but their whole life they knew nothing different. It was no big deal to throw the apple cores into the compost area and, something that can't be recycled into the trash area. It was when people would come over, and, oh, no, Uncle Ed, no, that doesn't go in the trash, that goes into the compost. So it's just setting up the system, and as long as everybody in the house is okay with it, it's pretty easy to do. It's not for everybody, but it should be because what you get out of it is this amazing, odor-free, great soil amendment. That when you put that, we talk about this all the time. When you put that into your garden, it gives the plants everything it needs, and they'll basically outgrow most pests or diseases.
So I don't need to spend $300 on a special composting bin?
A bucket or what? Just a trash can?
Well, you need something that's going to be about at least 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot. I make my little bins out of old pallets, shipping pallets. You have to know what was being shipped on them. It has to be something safe, no chemicals or anything. You just screw them together, but you could use, a chicken wire around something. Just you want it to be able to breathe, and you want it to get water coming in on the top of it, and you need it to be big enough so that when everything starts happening, what's happening here is everything from microbes to earthworms are eating up that stuff and turning it into compost. And one of my favorite things to do in the winter is to shove a crowbar down in there, and when kids come over, I say, put your hand on that crowbar, and it's 160 degrees. Because in the center of that compost pile, this process is happening,
really?
And it's turning this stuff that we put in there, and it's everything that's left over from the garden. Like right now, when frost hits, we're throwing all our annual foliage and such in there. Anything that wasn't diseased is going in there, and then every day something out of the kitchen. And as I said, it's a great way to recycle, but also you're getting this what we call black gold, and you'll never make enough. That's why I'm always buying compost. You'll never make enough, but it feels good, but it's also one of those things that it's utilitarian. It's helping you garden.
Very nice.
Doug Oster's with us, editor of Gardening with Doug at Doug Oster. That's OSTER.com.
Very nice. Okay, Doug, let's move on then. We love that treatise on composting, but here we are, right? I mean, it's going to get cold before you know it. Have you started to put your garden to bed yet?
No, and there's nothing wrong with putting it to bed now. I have to wait till the last day. I have to wait until the frost actually takes it, and it's I guess sort of ridiculous because I know I'm going to be out there and my fingers are going to be freezing as I pull up these annuals. But I want to see those peppers and tomatoes and flowers and everything till the very last day. There's nothing wrong with getting that stuff out now. It's just not the way I do it. The thing about cleaning up the garden nowadays, of course, we're always taking anything anything from the vegetable garden, anything from our impatiens and marigolds, those sort of things that perish with the frost. We want to get those out of there because that can be a place for diseases and pests to overwinter. But in our perennial gardens, we want to leave that stuff up nowadays. It used to be to say, cut it down, make it nice.
Yeah, you cut it all the way right down to the ground, but now we leave it up for
the good bugs, a place for the good bugs to spend the winter. That's all it is. The beneficial insects, the pollinators, all that sort of thing. But with that being said, now I leave mine up because I know it's a good thing to do. But I always tell people the garden's for you. If that drives you nuts,
because it doesn't look great, Doug.
Well, beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it really is, because there is beauty in these seed heads and these stems and such. But if it's not beautiful for you, that's what I'm saying. It's okay. It's okay to make it look the way you want it to look. You don't have to do this. I mean, come on, there are millions of acres of open fields and such that are left this way. Your little patch is not going to make that much of a difference. Yes, it feels better to leave it up, to think that you're helping, the good bugs. But again, I always say the garden's for you. If it drives you nuts and you can't stand the way it looks, there's nothing wrong with making it the way you want it to be.
Doug Oster with us, editor of Gardening with Doug. What about planting trees? We talked about that last time, and you said that people think that planting trees is reserved for the spring, but you said fall is a good time. Is it too far gone into fall?
Oh, no. We put trees in all the way until the ground freezes. We put shrubs in, we put perennials in, we put bulbs in until the ground freezes. This is an important time to plant. And, planting a tree is super easy. You dig the hole, 2 times bigger than the root ball. You make sure it's not too deep. You put that native soil back in there. You don't stake it up or anything. You just let it do its thing, and you water it in. And if we don't get water or rain, during the end of the season here, we add a little bit of water. But it's just the perfect time to do these things because, again, like we talked about before, it's all about root growth. They are not trying to put on new growth or anything. All they want to do is get established in that root zone. That's why fall is the best time to plant. I know that you've been gardening all summer long, and you're like, oh, it's cold now. I can take a break. But don't. There's stuff you plant now will make your garden so much better next spring, and especially bulbs. I'm always begging people to plant tulips, daffodils, crocus, hyacinth, especially daffodils. Daffodils are they're perennial, they're beautiful. There's 13 different divisions. It's easy to do. Get yourself a bulb auger. It's just like a big drill bit you put on your drill, and you can put 100 of those bulbs in 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Fabulous. Doug, of course, you are gardening, I would say, probably most of the year. Is there ever a period, like a few weeks or a month or so, where you're sitting by your window and looking at the snow and thinking, if I could just get out there? Is there ever a dull season for you?
Most of the winter? I'm gardening all winter long.
Are you?
Well, indoors, I've got all these. I'll bring all these plants in that I love. I'll put herbs on the windowsill. African violet. I do microgreens. When we get cold, we'll talk about microgreens. It's just a easy, fun thing to get a packet of seeds of like radishes or something, and I grow them on the windowsill. I'm always doing something in the garden, but we all need a little break, and that's what winter provides. I have a driveway that is awful. It's steep and with a switchback. That supplies me all the work I need that I would usually working in the garden. Now in the winter, I work on that darn driveway, and I'm not looking forward to blowing all the leaves off it and getting that driveway in shape and keeping it clear for everybody to get up and down.
Right.
Doug, you mentioned bringing herbs in from outside. Talk about what that process is. Is it just as easy as, digging up the herbs and putting them in a pot on your windowsill?
Definitely. Put them in that pot. What we do, we bring any plant in. We put them into like a sort of halfway house, like a sun porch or just someplace that warms up a little bit, but doesn't. They're not with all the other plants. We see what hatches out, if anything. And if we get some, aphids or spider mites or something easy like that, we use an organic control called insecticidal soap or horticultural oil. They can't, we don't want chemicals in the house. You spray that on the pest. It smothers the pest, and now you bring the plant in. And picking herbs all winter long.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Windowsill garden. Come on. I mean, you want something fresh when you can't get it. For me, but most of my basil's done. It's gotten too cold. And I already miss it. I've got like 4 or 5 plants pulled aside that I took some cuttings of, and I'm going to grow those out on the windowsill because I've got to have my fresh herbs for the winter.
So are your cuttings in soil, in the basement, or in some kind of, you have a little potting shed or something?
Luckily, I have a little green shed. Greenhouse. Don't hate me. I have a little greenhouse, and so I took some cuttings earlier in the year. For a video, it's on the website, and this certain variety that I really love, I want to see how it does indoors under windowsill light. Sometimes basil doesn't do too well on the window, but if you keep these herbs on the dry side, get as much light on them as you can on the windowsill, they'll make it. That's all we want. We want them just to survive, and then we can trim them as we need it, and then in the spring, back out they go, and we do it again.
Very nice. Doug, thanks an awful lot. You make gardening fascinating and fun. Always appreciate your passion.
Kathy, you better start composting or I'm coming after you.
Okay, listen, if I've texted you with emergencies before, this might be another one. So just keep your phone on, okay, pal?
I mean, composting emergencies are pretty low on the scale. Doug Oster, DougOster.com.
That's a good point.
To serve as a ruling elder is a high and holy office. RPTS now offers 5 flexible online courses to help you shepherd the Church of God. The Ruling Elders program features courses on biblical counseling, interpretation, worship, the church, care and administration, plus preaching and elective options that best fit your ministry paradigm. No papers, no exams, just solid biblical teaching from experienced pastor professors. Individual and group rates available. RPTS, study under pastors. Learn more at rpts.edu.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Meet Brad. Brad's hard at work, or at least his website is. Ever since he added live chat with Salem Surround, Brad's customers are getting their questions answered 24/7. Website purchases have gone up 35%, and they're over 3 times more likely to buy from him again. No bots, just real people helping real people. Live chat, one of the easiest, most affordable ways Salem Surround can increase your business while you do other things, or nothing at all. Ask us how at surroundpittsburgh.com.
Trip to Europe. Visit all 30 Major League Baseball stadiums. Go skydiving. Okay, so you know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Your Retirement Blueprint with Kurt Kenotic and Ethan Lane of Accurate Solutions Group, Saturdays at 10 a.m. to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Listen every Saturday morning at 10 to Your Retirement Blueprint with Accurate Solutions Group. Investment advisory services offered through ASG Investment Management, LLC.
Listen on your smart speaker at wordfm.com, the Word FM app, iHeart, TuneIn, and on Odyssey. In your car or at home, too, at 101.5 WORD-FM, Pittsburgh.
Parental involvement is the key to your child's success at school. This is Rich Askey, treasurer of the Pennsylvania State Education Association. Whether it's volunteering at school, communicating with teachers on a regular basis, or helping with homework, we know that parental involvement is crucially important. So get involved. Working together, parents and educators can make this a great school year for every student in Pennsylvania.
A message from the Pennsylvania State Education Association.
Partly cloudy skies expected for tonight with a low of 39. Partly sunny tomorrow, breezy and cool. Will reach a high of 55. A moonlit sky tomorrow night. There can be frost in the normally colder spots. Make sure to cover your outdoor plants. We'll see a low of 37. Plenty of sunshine Sunday. A nice end of the weekend. We'll reach a high Sunday of 60. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm forecaster Drew Shannon.
Follow this person, Tim Wilson, on Twitter, and he's part of a Christian History magazine.
Okay.
Who we talked to.
Yep.
What was her name? We talked to earlier this week.
We talked to Jen Pollock Michelle. But that's not who we talked to. But she's from Jen Pollock, I believe, is from Christian History. We also talked with.
We talked to Jennifer Woodruff Tate.
There we go.
Thank you very much. All right. Anyway,
Two Jens.
Here's the post. We ask over 70 Christian authors, whatever that might mean. Who are these Christian authors? To help identify the most influential writings from Christian history after the Bible.
Okay.
Here are some interesting threads about those 25. So 25
isn't very many. So that's a pretty
tight list,
yeah.
Right? What's interesting is that I look at this list. Of the 25, 2 were written in the 20th century. Okay. I'll quickly go through these.
Okay, I can't wait to hear them.
25 forward is where I'll go. Okay. Number 25, Martin Luther, Lectures on Rome.
Got it.
1515.
Yep.
Pope Gregory, Pastoral Rule from 591.
Don't know that.
Jonathan Edwards, Religious Affections, 1746.
Got it.
John Wesley, A Plain Account of Christian Perfection, 1777.
I have not read that.
Westminster Confessions.
Got it.
1646. Augustine on the Trinity, 400.
On the Trinity. I have not read Augustine on the Trinity.
That's 1817. Augustine on Christian Teaching, 397.
I haven't read that either.
Anselm, Why God Became Man, from 1095. Dante, The Divine Comedy, 1300.
Got it.
Karl Barth, Church Dogmatics.
I know about that. I never read it.
All right.
I'm not doing well.
Martin Luther, Freedom of a Christian.
Got it.
1520. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, The Cost of Discipleship. 1937. The Book of Common Prayer. 1549. Benedict Rule. 540s. Thomas A. Kempis, The Imitation of Christ.
Got it.
1418. C.S. Lewis, Mere Christianity, 1952.
Got it.
The Nicene Creed, 325. John Bunyan, Pilgrim's Progress,
right.
1678.
Okay, so let me say something about John Bunyan. First of all, I love Pilgrim's Progress.
Yep.
But it's way too long.
It's
way too long. Way too long.
Could use an editor.
The annotate. I really, and I very rarely say this, but I will say that the condensed version is better. I truly think it is.
Because he didn't have an editor. Yeah. All right, John Bunyan. Martin Luther, The 95 Thesis.
Got it.
1517.
So Martin Luther, we have 3 things from Martin there.
Augustine.
Oh.
City of God.
I've read that. Okay.
John Calvin, Institutes the Christian Religion, 1536. And the top 2, Thomas Aquinas, Summa Theologica.
I never read that.
1265, and 1, Augustine Confessions.
I read that. Okay.
Right. Can you imagine?
Wow. Okay, that would be really great to be able to have read all 25 of those.
Maybe I've got 3.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, I have.
Our friend Jerry Boyer, what do you think? Jerry's a pretty deep reader.
Yeah, I'd have to ask him. Wonder how many of those he's read.
Save the list and go back to it at some point. Okay. All right, we'll take a quick break, come back. What's up next?
Coming up next, it's a Week in Review, John.
Week in Review.
We look back, what are we listening to? Conversations that made us think, what we're watching, what hacked us up.
Best news.
101.5 WORD.
You're listening now, so we know you're a fan of the radio station.
I am a big fan.
And we want you to know that we appreciate you.
I am your number one fan.
That's why we've developed the Word FM Fan Club. It's free to join, and once you do, you can take part in exclusive surveys and contests.
Yeah, I love contests.
Special offers.
Great giveaways.
Discounts. Freebies.
I'd like to win one of these contests.
Become a member today. Go to wordfm.com/fan club and sign up.
We're big fans.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Christian television is one of the best ways to tell the world the truth, where you don't have to live in chaos, and you can access peace and hope, and that there is a God who loves you.
Bridge of Hope is coming soon on Cornerstone Television Network. Get involved and hear from special guests Auntie Ann Beeler, founder of Auntie Ann's Pretzels, David and Nicole Binion, Jay Gilbert, Mike Smalley, and Jennifer Evaz. Join us October 3rd through 7th at 8 p.m. on Cornerstone Television Network.
Gain presents a tale of longing and long-lasting scent. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Add Gain scent beads for an even longer lasting scent.
Celebrate fall during Community Market Days at Bedner's Farm and Greenhouse. Every Saturday from 11 to 3, Bedner's has plenty to enjoy, including local goods and vendors, a food truck, live music, wine tastings, cooking and gardening workshops, DIY and kids activities, plus everything you need for your fall gardening and decor, with fresh-cut pumpkins, gourds, corn stalks, mums, and lots more. Community Market Days, every Saturday at Bedner's Farm and Greenhouse in McDonald. Visit bednersgreenhouse.com.
It's been another week. That means it's time for John and Kathy's Week in Review. What was everyone talking about this week?
I hate to say, people were talking about Armageddon, nuclear annihilation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here we go. We're going to blow up the world. Putin's gone crazy. Biden's responding. That's worrisome, is it not?
It is worrisome, but when I was answering the question, I said Kenny Pickett.
Okay, good. You're healthier than I am.
What was a conversation that made you think?
Okay, the aforementioned Jennifer Woodruff Tate. We came on to talk to her about one thing, but then all of a sudden we started talking about Eucharistic theology and practice, loving communion, the bread and the wine at the altar. I mean,
she's an Episcopal priest.
Yeah.
So our conversations were all about, like, what about this little, dual unit that a lot of us have been using since COVID started? You get a little bit of bread,
right,
a little bit of wine on the
bottom. And what do you believe happens at communion?
Exactly.
That's a big deal.
And is it different between wine and grape juice? Or can you just do bread? And what about the common cup?
Yep.
Are crazy people still doing the common cup? And she's like, well, yeah, I do the common cup, and we do it every week.
I thought it was a fest. Is that what you thought too?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, no. That's the conversation that made me think.
Okay.
No, the conversation that made me think was yesterday at the Pastor's Appreciation Lunch with Paul Shepard.
Yeah.
Paul Shepard, who I just
3:30 here in Word FM.
Deeply, deeply appreciate. He talked to the pastors who were there yesterday, and he said, look, there is a way way too much negativity right now amongst Christians. You're talking about the candidate you don't like. You're talking about the pastor you don't like, or the denomination you don't like, whatever. What happened to us having good news to share with the world?
Yeah.
And why are we dwelling on all of the horror that is there? Even if there is horror to live through, there is joy at the end. Hebrews says that for the joy set before him, Jesus endured the cross. Yeah. Well, if Jesus can endure a cross based on what he knew was coming, has to be our model.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. He said, we're people of the good news. You telling people they're going to hell is not good news. That's right. I get that.
What did you eat?
We have this restaurant in our neighborhood,
which I have never gone to, and I would love to.
It's called Hanades. Let me just say this. This is not a sit-down place. It's a takeout only. It's a little tiny place. It's a husband and wife and their son, Hanades. They bill it as, I think it's a lack of a classification. They call it Mediterranean.
Okay.
I would say it's more Lebanese.
That's on the Mediterranean.
Middle Eastern, perhaps.
Okay.
Chicken, rice, grape leaves, roasted spicy cauliflower, baklava, hummus. It's fresh. It is absolutely off the charts delicious. Hanades.
I've got to get there.
If you're anywhere in the East End, on Ardmore Boulevard is where this place is. I'm telling you, it's a little tiny place. It can fit 6 people at the counter. Hanades. It's fabulous. Look it up.
I've been eating Honey Crisp apples from Sorgels.
Thank you for bringing us some.
So happy to do it. I have one every night in a salad. Picture this. So it's greens of your choice, a Honey Crisp apple from Sorgels, chopped up, candied walnuts, and the feta, the Greek feta from Stimulus Market in Penn Avenue in the Strip District.
That sounds really good.
Listen to me. It is everything you want in a salad. You put a nice sharp vinaigrette on top, and you're going to be happy all weekend long.
That sounds excellent.
What did you watch?
It was Buster Keaton's 127th birthday.
Oh, my gosh.
I talked about it, I think, Tuesday. So I went home and I said, hey, Mama.
Buster Keaton?
We love, in our house, we grew up on Buster Keaton. My kids know Buster Keaton. We were all about silent films.
Wow.
Yeah, and we'd go to the video store. This was before, streaming took place. We were always doing silent films. We're heroes. He's our big hero, Buster Keaton is. So we went, and there's a film that's streaming called The Great Buster, A Celebration. And it's a documentary produced by Peter Bogdanovich, of all people.
Oh, really?
Fabulous film. We watched it, I think, Tuesday night. Well worth it. The Great Buster, A Celebration.
Wow, that was totally unexpected. I am so deep into MI5, which is a BBC production, which is on BritBox, which is available on Prime. I absolutely love this show. Matthew McFadden, Keely Hawes are the 2 stars. It is so... The Brits can do it. They can do the drama better than anybody. It's about intelligence work.
It's an older series?
Yeah. It's 20 years old.
Okay.
So the quality of it, as far as the video quality, it's not high def.
Still holds up, though.
It still holds up. Nice. It's so good that I love it.
Excellent.
What hacked you off?
We talked yesterday about the Post-Gazette going on strike and the Block family's refusal to engage. Now, of course, this is a very deep story. It goes back many, many years. It includes the tragedy of the decline of the print world. And but the Block family, they run billion-dollar businesses. They are not engaging with their employees. These typesetters, reporters, all these people who work for the PG have not had a raise in 16 years.
I mean,
come on. I get it. It's old media, but still. You say you're in the business of this, then treat people fairly. That's all.
What hacks me off is that there are so many former pirates who are involved in major ways in playoff action, which starts this afternoon.
Yeah,
I'm going to read this again. Quintana is going to get the start tomorrow afternoon versus the Phillies. Glasnow is going to start Saturday afternoon versus the Guardians. Musgrove is going to start Saturday night versus the
Plus there's Garrett
In the
Cole.
divisional series, Tyone, Cole Anderson, and Charlie Morton are all starting. I mean, what
Can you imagine what a great
is
team would have had if we'd
the
have kept those
deal?
guys? Because,
Can you believe all of those stinking pitchers?
yeah, of course, that's our legacy.
That leave the Pirates and become excellent. We stink.
I know. Listen,
we stink
I told
so
you,
badly.
I read an article today about a woman who was a New York Yankees fan. In her obituary, she thanked the Pittsburgh Pirate organization for providing the New York Yankees with quality players. In her obituary. That should tell you everything.
What was the best news you heard this week?
We went away last Friday night and drove up to Penn State to hang out with my kid. We had such a good time. I mean, here's the thing. You spend like 30 hours with your kid, you get to see him.
Yeah.
You get to see him with their friends,
Yeah.
in his environment. We howled. It was such a blast. What a perfect day and a half we had up there.
Even though the weather was
Didn't matter.
wretched.
We had a fabulous time. So that was our best news this week.
Wow.
The three of us were together, all that family up there, all that Penn State stuff. Look, I'm wearing my Penn State sweatshirt.
Yeah, it's a little hard for me.
Okay, sorry. But we are Penn State.
I'm wearing Pitt colors, by the way, in case you're wondering, trying to balance things out visually. The best news I heard this week is that, we finished some home renovations a little bit ago, and I've never had a fireplace. I've never had a fireplace in a house that I lived in. And for the first time, I've got a fireplace.
Nice.
So it's going to get cold tonight. And I'm telling you, I am geeked about it. About it.
Living your best life right now.
Yeah, exactly.
You really are.
What have you been listening to?
Okay, I think this is apropos for the season.
Okay.
This is what I've been listening to. It kind of sets the stage for where we are right now.
Oh, my gosh. Ella.
Isn't that beautiful? She's very unique. One of a kind. Ella Fitzgerald, Autumn in New York.
I think that's my favorite. It's been recorded by so many people.
Yeah.
But that could be my favorite recording of that. I absolutely love it.
Sinatra does a fine job.
I know, but I still think Ellis is better. Okay, Gary, hit it. That's I Speak Jesus, Charity Gale and Stephen Musso. Is that beautiful?
That sure is beautiful. Love it. Very, very nice.
That's it. It's our week in review.
And that's John and Kathy's Week in Review.
Pumpkins, 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 and more pumpkins. Pumpkins are what the Spring House is thinking about this time of year. Hi, it's me, Marcia from the Spring House, and we love sharing our farm with you during this beautiful time of year. We've got all kinds of fun planned for you and your family to be able to spend the whole day on our farm. Pumpkin patch hay rides, a petting zoo, giant square bale stack and pipes for sliding, a hay maze and a corn maze, pumpkin picking right out of the field, old-time games under a tent up on the hill, and lots more. And when you get hungry, of course, we have great eats inside, too, with lots of pumpkin creations. Pumpkin pie, pumpkin cookies, pumpkin bread, pumpkin custard, and even pumpkin black bean chili. Every October Saturday features a family-friendly meal, and October Sundays feature our 4-H hog roast with all the fixins. Plan to spend a memory-making day on the farm at the Spring House in 84 PA, 724-228-3339 or springhousemarket.com.
Hi, I'm Al Abaroa, founder of Knight Strategic Wealth. Inflation is a problem, markets are volatile, and the risk of running out of money in retirement is real. That's why I love annuities, and you should too. Your financial advisor doesn't want you to know that with our annuity strategy, when the stock market goes up, you earn a market-linked return that locks in every year, and when the stock market goes down, your annuity won't lose a dime. There are no unnecessary fees, and it works for your investments, money at a brokerage firm, or even money at a bank. It's simple, it's safe, and you should only invest if you learn the facts, and that's why savvy investors work with us. Want to learn more? Text FREE to 833-898-0500, and we'll send our retirement readiness kit directly to your phone right now. If you want to use safe, low-fee annuities to build a retirement portfolio that will go up with the market and never lose money, get our retirement readiness kit today and see how this strategy can help secure your future. Text FREE to 833-898-0500. Text FREE to 833-898-0500.
Do you have a passion for helping others? Turn it into a rewarding career at Life Steps. Life Steps is hiring caring people to make a difference in the lives of individuals with disabilities. Full-time and part-time positions available with opportunities close to home. No degree or experience necessary. Life Steps offers flexible schedules, paid training, and generous benefits. Make a difference today. Call 724-283-1010 or visit lifesteps.net. Life Steps is an equal opportunity employer.
Want to save big on new blinds? Blindster.com offers custom-made blind shades and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Shop Blindster now and save 45% off any order. Just use code RADIO. Offer ends soon. Shop today. Blindster.com.
Ask Alexa to play the word Pittsburgh to hear us there. We're on your Google speaker too, plus iHeart, TuneIn, and on Odyssey. 101.5 WORD-FM Pittsburgh.
Well, the aforementioned weekend looks to be very nice, although a little chilly. But there are always things to do out and about. Here's a couple of things. Storytelling and dance. The Pittsburgh Ballet Theater will be at the August Wilson Cultural Center in downtown, which surprises me. PBT, I would think, would be, at
the Benedum.
Yeah. Anyway.
Or are they at Heinz Hall? No, it's at the Benedum.
Yeah,
the
I thought so. Yeah. Storytelling in Motion, August Wilson African Center. Performance times are 7:30 this evening and Saturday, and 2 o'clock on Sunday. The mixed repertoire production features internationally acclaimed contemporary pieces. Tickets are $29. I haven't seen dance in a long time.
Yeah.
I'd love to see dance.
Yeah.
The Walk to End Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's Association will host the Pittsburgh Walk to End Alzheimer's, beginning with registration 8 o'clock Saturday at Highmark Station. The walk gets underway at 9:30. More than 80,000 people, of course, living with diseases. 280,000 nationwide with diagnosed Alzheimer's. So that's a worthy cause. The Fall Flower Show at Phipps gets underway.
Nice.
Special features of the chrysanthemum.
I've never been to the Fall Flower Show.
What? I thought you were a member of Phipps.
I am. I've never been to the Fall Flower Show.
And you're a member?
Can you believe that? Isn't that stupid?
That's like the flower show. You always go to the spring show, right?
Spring, yeah.
So it runs through October 30th.
Wow.
You
okay. I have to do that.
Yeah. The Pittsburgh Society of Artists. The 56th annual exhibition opens this evening, and it's in Carnegie. Have you ever been to this?
No, I was thinking you were talking about the Pittsburgh Center for the Arts on Fifth Avenue.
Nope.
Okay.
This is in Carnegie. Special events associated with the exhibition. Pittsburgh poets are going to be there. This society began in 1965. There'll be 300 members working a variety of visual arts and medium, and it will be juried as well. And like to see that.
Great.
Art exhibition.
Earth, Wind, and Fire is here this weekend, Saturday, and CeCe Winans is here also.
CeCe Winans where?
Yeah, I don't know. And
Really?
I don't know.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
What I'd love to do is see them together.
Yeah, wouldn't that be? He'd fit right in there.
That would be awesome. It's National Frappe Day, John. I want to know if you're celebrating that, and is that an important holiday for you?
It's not really but if someone said you want a frappe, I'd bring it.
I think it's such a great idea.
Yeah.
If I could have a frappe every day, I would, but then I couldn't fit in my pants.
Right, that's a problem.
But I love any frappes. Like, do you like a frappuccino?
Sure.
Do you?
Bring it.
Have you had the McCafe from McDonald's?
No. That can't be any good.
Delicious.
Come on.
The
It's
mocha
McDonald's.
frappe is absolutely awesome. I mean it. It is so good. It is so good. Your favorite frappuccino? Do you have one that you?
I can't say I do have a favorite.
Okay. Would you take any of them?
Yeah, I would.
So you don't. So
I
you
just raise my hand. Please bring it over to me.
But you don't like coffee ice cream.
Yeah, but I'd be happy to have that.
Why is it? What's the difference?
I don't know. I can't make sense of myself.
What about? Would you take like the pumpkin spice?
Maybe you and Christy could do that, right?
I don't know if I want to do that. I think I'll stick with like some Java chip or something.
Stay warm this weekend, will you?
The Ride Home with John and Kathy, a production of Salem Media Group.
This is Hugh Hewitt for townhall.com. There was big news from the Supreme Court as they announced they will hear 2 tech cases examining the immunity of our big tech corporations